Hey, what's up? It's me, Awesome Alley.
And I'm Raisa. Welcome back to 90 Days to Becoming an Awesome Person.
Woo!
Today is day 49. We are almost there. But as always, we're going to start off with our quote of the day.
Thank you, Raisa. And today we're going to go a little far back today for the quote of the day. Today's quote of the day is by Marcus Aurelius. He said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Once again, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. All right, Raisa, thoughts, comments, and perspectives.
Thanks, Allie. So, with this quote, I think the thing to focus on is the quality of thoughts. And when he says quality of thoughts, notice how he's not actually saying positive or negative. He's talking about quality. How defined are your thoughts? So, say you have one self-doubt, and you have one self-doubt thought, and then you have a confident thought, and then you have an idea thought. So you're trying to work your way up to an idea that's going to help you run your life, run your business, whatever. It's the next greatest thing. And in your head, you are battling with this confidence and this self-doubt, both as thoughts. When he says, fine tune the quality of your thoughts, you can do things to make sure that you can align your actions and behaviors so that it aligns with your thoughts that make you feel confident. And when you build that up and you build up that energy of that kind of thought, because as we know, thoughts become things, that thought is now going to overpower the self-doubts. So every time that you fine-tune different thoughts that are and you make them to quality, those are the thoughts that will help you get to the next greatest thing. And that's why it's saying it doesn't have to be negative or positive. Now take, for example, the self-doubt, for example. You can take the lessons from there and then improve it into a new thought, but you leave the shame, the guilt aside. You just take a little piece of it. That is fine-tuning a thought to make it of quality so that you get to the next greatest thing. And I think, we definitely tend to go towards positive or negative thoughts. So that's why I really like this quote where it's saying quality thoughts. What are you putting out there? You have control over which thoughts you want to improve on.
Like adding different meanings, adding strength to it, like strength to your thoughts, especially like a confidence one, putting more thought into that actual thought. So if you have a really great idea, building upon it, okay, adding what's pieces, what's this go with this, like what are the pieces that can help support it even more than how it is already at that moment. So you want to reinforce it, right? Because as the story of the two wolves go, there's an old Indian Native American, and it's at the campfire, you're going around, and the young hunter asks, "Dad, what about having self-conflicting thoughts?" And it explains the story about the two wolves inside of yourself and how you have to choose which one you feed. There's a good one and there's a bad one. It's kind of like that with you also. You have a good and a bad wolf, and this helps you. And you have to choose which one to feed. So every time, even though, as we said, positive and negative, every time you have a negative thought or a positive thought, you're feeding one of the wolves, and you can't feed both. Only one will always win. So when you're constantly thinking in, let's say just use it in a negative way or a non-qualitative way, right? Or you're not putting enough support into an idea, you're feeding the bad wolf. And at one point, you feed it so much that it overcomes and it starts to rule your life a bit, right? So always keep that in mind. Which wolf am I feeding today? I want to be feeding the good one. I don't want to be feeding this one, because if you can feed enough of the good one, then you'll just start to live in a habitual routine where if you do have a negative thought or you do have, a self-doubt, you already know how to act on it like this and get it out of your head and, move on with life. So that is our quote of the day. If you just joined us, it is by Marcus Aurelius. He said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thought." Awesome, awesome. Right, so what is our tip for today?
Okay, so the tip for today is an intuitive leading is a lead we must follow. So I'm going to repeat that. An intuitive leading is a lead we must follow. Destiny arrives as a humble lunch, not a fanfare. The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. Wow. So I think you can really kind of dig into this tip of the day where it's saying, once again, and fine tuning with the thoughts, is that listen to yourself. You know, you are your own follower or leader at the end of the day. And if you have something inside of you telling you, hey, let's do this, I feel that, I feel this, listen to it. And, you know, when you grow stronger in that, you'll know to separate whether it's like an egoic thing, but it will be an intuitive leading. Like if you are so drawn to a purpose that is greater than yourself, you will find that throughout your journey, you are going to have great intuition. And that intuition is the lead to follow, because now you step into a place of leadership, and, you know, fine tuning that and making it work will do. And then the second part of the tip is saying destiny arrives as a humble lunch, not a fanfare. So when she's saying fanfare, it's like you pick whatever you want, you have a buffet, there's so many options. No, destiny arrives as a humble lunch, which means we must humble ourselves from egoic thoughts, like thinking only of materialistic things and thinking about, sorry, I lost my thought there. But what she's saying here is that you must humble yourself so that you can actually get those things. It's always like saying, it's related to how you're looking, the universe is saying like, oh, it whispers things to you. It's kind of similar to that as to what she's saying as it arrives as a humble lunch. Same thing as the universe whispers to things to you, so you have to listen.
Interesting. For me, when I think about when she's saying that humble lunch versus the fanfare, you know, as you described the fanfare with the buffet and everything, and, you know, you can pick and choose and eat as many as you want, but a humble lunch, you know, it gives you, let's just use you get a turkey sandwich, and then you get a side of fries, and you get a drink, right? A humble lunch. So it's specific. It's, you know, refined down. You like the buffet, you can pick and choose anything, but sometimes you get overwhelmed. You're like, oh my gosh, what if I want this? What if I want this? And you start piling upon your plate until one point you just can't eat anymore, right? So the humble lunch is a specific destiny, a specific purpose that is designed for you. That's kind of how I interpret that tip right there of how, or that quote for that tip. So yeah, that is our tip and quote for the day. If you just joined us, the quote of the day is, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thought, Marcus Aurelius. And your tip for the day is, an intuitive leader is a leader we must follow. Destiny arrives as a humble lunch, not as a fanfare.
Julia Cameron, The Artist's Way. So cool. That's a book if you ever want to get into that.
And we do have a comment by Mary Long. What does Mary?
Sunset Latifa says hi, and Mary Long says, my intuitive leading told me to go to Canada a few years ago. It made no logical sense. Best thing that has happened to me in 10 years though. I love Canada. Woo! Awesome.
Okay, fantastic. And if you haven't already, make sure to grab your free 30-day journal PDF. Click the link on Instagram in our bio, on Facebook, in the description, on YouTube, also in the description. And if you do have any problems, just hit us up and say Apso Journal in the DMs, and, you know, we'll send that over to you. So, Rachel, do you have anything else to say?
No, I'm good.
Perfect. This was presented by Apso. Awesome people.
Shaping our world.
Remember, you are awesome.
And you can make the world a better place.
Bye. Bye.